Right, call Allah Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, Bashem Akakadash. Don't honor city elders and apostle Great Millstone of well. I am not a member of Great Millstone, however, I have entered into their labors. Peace, mercy, and blessings to sincere brothers and sisters doing this wherever you are, whatever your lot may be. Coming at you with a quick one because I just had a couple things on my mind. Um, if this is posted, I'm rolling in the spirit and it went well. The spirit is working with me, and if not, then part two or part three of a redo. I do a lot of redos because I just don't like how some of these things come out. But yeah. So let's go. It's really about letting your faith carry you, and it's more of let's look this word up real quick. Admonition. An act or action of admonishing, authoritative counsel, or warning. So this is an admonition aimed at myself, but if anybody else can relate, then I pray that you're edified. Again, I'm just gonna roll and get some scriptures, but I was reading through Luke, the book of Luke, St. Luke, chapter 13, and 34, the verse 34 stood out to me, and it didn't quite make sense, so I looked at it in the NLT. So I'll read this in the KJV to start, and then we'll switch it over to the NLT because sometimes that does pack a little bit more of a punch. Speaking the layman's terms of today, the common language, or whatever. So, O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, which killest the prophets, and stonest them that are sent unto thee, how often would I have gathered thy children together, as a hen doth gather her brood under her wings, and ye would not. And I thought that this first part of this verse was very fitting, is very telling, because you have prophets on the street corners, you have sincere brothers and sisters that try to, tell their family about certain things, and people's ears just shut off. So back then they would have stoned you. And hell, even coming into the nowadays, right? Because what was the scripture I was gonna get? Righteousness, righteousness, righteousness. Maketh himself a prey. Is that Isaiah? I don't even want to pull it up in here because I ain't got time to be playing around with the old English. Let's see. Maketh himself. I believe that's in the book of Isaiah. Yep, Isaiah 59 and 15. I'm gonna go to that, and then we'll come back to Luke 30. Come back to Luke 34 and read it in the NLT. So, did it say 15? We'll see. Yea, truth faileth, and he that departeth from evil maketh himself a prey. So yeah, even coming into nowadays, shit, your family might offer you up to the quote unquote authorities of today, and because Jacob's trouble has started, but it's not in its zenith. It's not in its peak. So they've already started their little smear campaign with these horrible, lazy attempts to, link those of us who have simply just come back to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. We are no longer staying upon him that smote us. We'll get that too. We're no longer doing that. Let me get that before I continue to talk. Isaiah 10 and 20. I feel like I should have these by memory. A lot of these. So forgive me, I gotta keep going to the search and then going back. But getting these precepts. All right, and it shall come to pass in that day, this is Isaiah 10 and 20, that the remnant of Israel and such are as escaped of the house of Jacob shall no more stay upon him that smote them, but shall stay upon Yahweh, the Holy One of Israel, in truth. All right, the remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob, unto the mighty power. For though thy people Israel be as the sand of the sea, yet a remnant of them shall return. The consumption decree The creed shall overflow with righteousness. All right, so that is what they're offended in. Just to be plain, we no longer want to do the things that they think are good, or tradition, the Christmas trees, the Thanksgiving, the birthdays, the eating of the abominable foods, and just the overall way of life of Babylon. We've put off, and that can make you a prey. All right, because now you're an outcast. But it is better to suffer for righteousness' sake than it is to suffer for being a nigga, because you're gonna suffer regardless. So you might as well you know garner the protection of Yahweh while Yahweh Shai, as we'll go back to Luke 13, right? Because he'll do it, as he said, but our people just don't. The deception is real. We'll just say that that left-handed magic, the enchantments of the Chaldean, the modern day Chaldeans, is very strong. But it's only because Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai allowed it. So let's read this, our original scripture we started with. We're gonna read this in the NLT. O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, the city that kills the prophets and stones God's messengers, how often have I wanted to gather your children together as a hen protects her chicks beneath her wings, but you would not let me. Right? So you spit on the hand of protection. You spit on the one that is providing intercession for you. And I'm talking to those who, don't accept Yahweh Shai, or who are still calling on Jesus, or those Yah only niggas, or the now I seen a new name. It's Yah-O. Seek Yah-O. So Y-A apostrophe O-H. And we know that that the his name is Yahweh. Okay, so if you look on some of those stone tablets, you can look it up. You can also search GMS videos. There are plenty of extensive videos that can break down the names. And even there's stone tablets that are found right here in United States, right here in well, I'm not in New Mexico, but there a lot of them are found in New Mexico and in the southwestern region. And it's the Paleo Hebrew. It's the I bet you can barely even find it now. Let's see. So yeah, that is Yahweh right there. That's Yahweh. Give me some. Give me some. There we go, like that. So it'll give you. I think the pictograph. It'll give you different types, but the oldest one you'll see is looks like that, or not even that. I don't know. I'm gonna write. Maybe I should write it out and put it on here. Yeah, right here is what is better. Is a better. See. A, ba, ga, da, ha, wa, za, cha, ta, ya. See, and these, so there is no Jehovah or things of that nature, right? Stand by, just give me a second, brother. Hold on, I need to answer this call. All right, sorry about that. We back. I will do my best. I think it was starting at 9 to 10 minutes. I'm looking for some editing software so I can get that out. But all right, let's go. Uh, if you're hearing this now, yeah, skip to the 10-minute mark. Now, what was I saying? Yeah, so as you can see, the Lashawan Kodash does not have ease, right? Or use those vowel points are what you'll see. I think that's his name, Yehuda or Yehudi. This is the man that added those vowel points, right? This is the man, right? It says, who is the father of modern Hebrew. And yeah, he added those vowel points and then created a bastard language and perverted it because that's what they do best is pervert things. Um, and that's what they're currently doing, with their AI and creating their artificial life. But they need organic things to create inorganic things. So you need the copper, you need the different types of metals that go into putting together these certain computerized things that create uh, your virtual reality or your robot bodies or whatever it is you have it. Okay, they need natural things that were already here in order to create their unnatural. They create these fake foods, and it comes from real foods that Yahweh Bashim Yahushua or Yahweh at the time, I guess however you want to say it, they created it, or and then these Edomites and these heathen take what's already been and then pervert it. So that is what they do. That is what they were put on this earth and programmed to do, is to pervert things, to be a devil. Let's see. Um, I believe that's in Isaiah as well. Yeah, so Isaiah 14 and 16. So this is what is coming for them. So only now do they have their little rule for a little season, and we'll get that in a second. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee. This is the latter end of the heathen, mainly the Edomite, because he is the one who is the hammer of the earth, or is currently, but losing their hammer-like strength and wisdom is gone in teeming. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoner? All right, all the kings of the nations, even all of them lie in glory, everyone in his own house. But that's what they're going to say. Is this him? And that is the veil that is coming off of the people's eyes, starting with the, elders and apostles and their elders and apostles who started preaching against him and preaching the gospel in truth and sincerity. And then all of us who later on came in down the line and that veil was lifted off of our eyes. Yahweh Bashim Yahshua allowed us to see and hear, have eyes to see and ears to hear. Yet the Lord, this is Deuteronomy 29:4, yet the Lord hath not given you an heart to perceive and eyes and ears to hear unto this day. And that's not the one I wanted. I mean, that's what it says, but that's not what I wanted. But as you can see, we'll glean something from that anyway. This has to be given unto you. Eyes to see and ears to hear have to be given unto you. And for that hopeful elect, that 1/3, they were given that a beautiful gift from Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and that is when the veil was lifted, and you really saw this person, this nation right here. If you're looking at my screen, you really saw them for who and what they were, and that veil was lifted, and you no longer look at him as white as in the definition of pure. He is all but that. All right, let me find what I wanted. It's in the New Testament, actually. Okay, maybe not. But let's go to the little season. We're gonna stick to. I want to get back to like some very basic things because I noticed. And forgive my dog. He's snoring. He's a big boy. uh, um. Like I said, I wanted to get back to the basics. So we did say he was in his little season. So first, let's get this one, and this is easy money right here. Right, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? All right, so you have a word. It's called, I believe. Let me see. I don't remember how to spell it. There we go. Iconoclasm. This is a very simple way to explain him covering up the faces of the judges. And during that Renaissance period, painting over the dark images and getting rid of the dark images on these tapestries that you find in Europe and putting their faces on it. All right, the action of attacking or assertively rejecting cherished beliefs and institutions or established values and practices. All right, the rejection or destruction of religious images as heretical, the doctrine of iconoclasm. So this is a iconoclasm in Christianity. Now, when they say Christianity, they don't understand the easiest way to put it is the word is like an Israelite heritage because first you had to be an Israelite to be a Christian, and um, the Christianity you see today does not have anything to do with why the first original Israelites, or they would be called in their time Hamashiachim, followers of Yahushai. Uh, they would have had to been Israelites because that's who he came to save, his own nation. And all right, let's see. Christianity has experienced periods of iconoclasm, religiously motivated and destruction of work of art, especially figurative images. For example, the Byzantine iconoclasm of the 8th and 9th centuries, and what Martin Luther termed uh, Bildersturm, picture storm, all right, during the Reformation. So you get the point here. So that is one small example of what he's done. Okay. And then I mentioned that little season, and he laid hold on the dragon and old serpent, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and sealed upon him, and he should deceive the nations no more. Right? So that's 20 and 4. And then we'll skip to 7 because that's how you read it. These are two different time periods. 1 through 4 is one thing, and then I'm sorry, 1 through 3 is one thing, and then 4 through 6 is another. This has yet to happen. And you go back to 7. So how you read Revelations 20 is 1, 2, 3, skip down to 7, and we are currently in that. So we'll go to 7, and when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan, who is a people, because that just means adversary. It is not the spiritual demon Satan that Christians will have you believe, or they'll say Lucifer, but Lucifer is not. Lucifer is a title. It is not a person. Okay, so we'll continue on. Um, shall be loose out of his prison, and Satan being your adversary, your main adversary. We'll get that in a second, because all the nations have come against you, but your number one enemy, I believe it's in Psalms 83, is Esau Edom. So your main adversary, and especially according to Genesis, because when Jacob and Esau were in their mother's womb, they were two nations of people, two manner of people, right? And that is who the story is hinged upon. That is who prophecy is hinged upon. Those two manner of people, the protagonist, which is Jacob, and the antagonist, which was Esau Edom. Verse 8, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, and that is what they are doing, or they're ending that deception because it prophecies are popping off and they are running out of time and they are trying to speed this thing up, but the veil is being pulled off people's eyes, and they are ending, or they are about to come to an end. Their rulership is circling the drain, and the only way Yahushua is returning, according to prophecy, is when this nation falls. Jacob is or Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Esdras, but where? That's a tough one. I believe it's, for the sake of time, let's see. All right, here we go. Second Ezra 6 and 9. I was at 5. So we understand that the only way we are returned, because that was what Ezra's concern was. How long shall these heathen and these lowlifes rule over us? Was not the earth made for our sakes? Why do we not possess it? That's what Ezra wanted to know. And the angel expounded unto him, and in this portion he says, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So only way we can return unto our rightful state is that this current system, this current kingdom, everything that you know to be life, as you know it, being in this captivity has to come to an end. All right. So with that being said, we know we need to hang on to that faith. So Hebrews 11, if you ain't read it, you need to read it. But it's all about faith. And again, this is an admonition aimed at myself, and I pray that those of you that hear it, are also taking heed, because that is your ticket. That is going to be your ticket out, is through your faith. And through faith, you understand that the law, statutes, and commandments have not been done away with. You are under grace, but you still want to behave properly. You still want to show Yahweh Bashmi outside, right? Because that, you know what? Let me get this real quick. Let's see, Paul, by my works. Oh my gosh, that's why. James 2 and 18. So that's what we want. So that is a faithless thing to do if you stay upon the way of the modern Christian, where you can just do and say what you want and just call on Jesus, like that so-called Jesus. There's, how do you do that? There's no standard. That doesn't make sense, because if you look in the book of Deuteronomy, the Lord says, if you do this, I will do that. If you do that, I will do this. And we did that, and that is why we're in the position we are in. All right, disobedience, idolatry, following after ways of these heathen, and they're worshiping their gods and living the way they live. All right, so James 2 and 18. Yea, a man may say, thou hast faith, and I have works. Show me thy faith without thy works. You can't, because if you believed and you feared in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, you would do your best to follow the ways that he has set out for you in this book. Because you know, if you don't, he gonna put a foot in your ass. Forgive my language. That is faith. You know, if you don't follow what he says, you have faith that he will do the things that he said unto you if you did not listen. And conversely, if you do the things that you are supposed to do, that you will be protected and that you will be kept, is what we're going to need in the time to come, and that he will always keep that watchful eye and his protective hand around you. Because we don't know how many times things or people have kind of wished ill on you, or, any bad thing could have happened at any point in time. But without us seeing it, Yahweh Bashim Yahshua has covered us day in and day out. So let's go back to Hebrews 11. All right. So at the top, Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For by it the elders obtained a good report. Though through faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of Yahweh, so that the things which are seen were not made of things which do appear. And that is the same concept as your protection. You don't see the things that are coming to do you harm, and you can't see the things that the Lord has sent to keep and protect you. But by faith and through belief, you know that there are things that are out there that want to harm you, and by faith and by belief, you know that the Lord has his eye and has his hand over you, and you're covered. And you know that being obedient son gives you your perks. All right, so by faith, Abel offered unto Yahweh a more excellent sacrifice. And today our sacrifice is to be obedient. You know, those of us who are prophets or prophesying or helping the whatever it is in capacity that you're serving and making your body a living sacrifice by putting off this world and seeking the old paths. That is your sacrifice, right? But yours is more excellent than sacrificing Cain, and the rest of our people and the heathen are in the spirit of Cain. They want to sacrifice what they feel like sacrificing. They want to fit who they ignorantly refer to as Jesus and God into their life. They built their life in a way that they want, and then piece together the Lord in a way that is suitable for them. Okay, so that is not a way, that is not faith at all. That is serving your own belly. All right, let's see. So this here just goes, telling the story of our ancestors, right? So by faith, Enoch was translated. All right, and then another good one is verse 6. But without faith it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. And he can be found right here in this word. Apocrypha included, because that is a part of the Bible. All right, so by faith, Noah, being warned of God of things not seen as yet, moved with fear, and that is what we are doing. We are moving with fear, and I pray that we all keep that spirit of fear and reverence on us, because the Lord is soon to show why he has a title of Alashadya, or terrible demon-like power. He is going to show these heathen why he is not to be trifled with. He at right now he's letting that cup fill up, and you think that he's not going to move, but he is long suffering, and that is the ultimate move against finite man, is that the Lord that we serve is long suffering, and people think that they get away with something because they weren't punished right then. But when that punishment comes, oh boy, I don't want to be on the left hand side of his judgment. None of us do, and it's easy to read these things and you think these things, and it's like, oh yeah, that could be bad. But again, faith. Through faith and belief, I know that Yahweh I can bring your worst nightmare upon you and make you relive it. Or if you are to die, that he will make it last as long as possible, however it is. It's probably maketh, but let's see. That's not it. I wound. How about that? I, the Lord, do all these things. Yeah. Oh, I had it. Okay. So this is Deuteronomy 32 and 39. See now that even I am he, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. So I want to be in the right hand of protection, not the left hand of destruction and judgment. And I pray that the rest of you who are listening and learning are in that same frame of mind. And I pray that Yahweh Bashmi Shai keeps that frame of mind on you. So um, as we move into more turbulent times, that we're protected and kept, because he controls all. So why not fall in line with the one who controls all? You think that this devil that is currently ruling has control over everything, but at the end of the day, we have to think of our latter end, right? So fear not him that kills the body. And I'm preaching to myself as I say this. You don't fear him that kills the body. Keep the fear of Yahweh Bashmi Shai. That is our power. That is our God. If he has delivered you from many things before, he'll deliver you through this as well. Even if we have to give up the ghost on this side, that means you be risen up. Upon the, when Yahweh Shai returns. And when you say it out loud, you think that it's tough to believe. It's hard to believe because we've been in captivity so long that some of those chains, those mental chains, are still being broken. But you have to hold on to that. Fast, pray, get down on bended knee, prostrate yourself. Ask Yahweh to show you. Ask Yahweh Bashmi Yahweh Shai to show you. I did. I'm waiting. I will wait patiently. I ask in faith, and I'm going to wait patiently. Because the Lord, I understand that I am a humble servant, and that is how we ought to act as a humble servant. So when we ask something of the Lord, be patient. He will do it in his time. Hey, and if not, call Halor Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai anyway. So with that being said, Shalom.